What up, peeps? It's Mirror and Media, and I'm doing a new intro. Not really. So you see the title, and you probably were wondering, well, what's this all about? And I'm just gonna watch it right now. And why does she have an awesome country accent? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, friends. How many of us have? Alright, this is no shade to anyone, especially in my personal experience. I won't say no names, but there were the time when you're in high school, even if you're not in high school anymore, and you're an adult, how many can you consider your close friend, your best friend, on-time friend, all those things? Me, personally, I have some I can count on, but others that are here for a season and here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I thought to myself, am I the only one who has this issue? Probably not. Just people go through changes. Maybe the person you were friends with since elementary is just going in a different path. And I feel like I respect that. But I wanted to talk about the whole ghosting of friends. Maybe I'm not alone here, but people that you've called a friend for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden they just vanish in the vanish in the atmosphere. They ghost you. They don't text you or respond to you. If you call, it feels like it's a burden to them, and they kind of just feel like, "What?" on the phone. It's just like, that's not a friendship. What happened? What did I do? You start questioning yourself. Is this my life? And then you start questioning you as a person because of what happened to that so-called friendship. And the reason why I use the Friends title, because I feel like I've never watched that show. I probably took glimpses at it. I remember I used to go to this church in Jersey City where there was an episode on, and one of the I don't want to say nuns, but one of the ladies from the church was telling us to close our eyes because there was a sex scene happening. Really, they were just making out, but okay. And then that's about it. That's the only thing I remember. And everybody keeps saying that quote that one of the guys say. We were on a break. Like I said, I never really watched the show, and from what I've heard from people that don't like the show, it's like a facade of people that got out of college, and they make it seem like they're so great, but really they're probably horrible people that lasted so long, and they date amongst each other. I don't know. Like I said, I've never watched the show. It wasn't really a clickbait type idea. I just like the way the logo looks. And then also, since the topic is about friends, the positive and the negative, I liked how that looked. Okay? So, I'm gonna go into when you were younger as a friend, and if you don't have this experience and you don't know how this feels, it's fine. I'm not saying that everybody feels that way. You probably still, or you probably still have friends that you consider close to you, but I'm also just trying to show different parts of life that, and then I'll have an end result of what, it's not the end of the world type premise. So, when you're younger, no one really tells you about how to make friends. It's everything, there's no guide. When you're, I want to say, in that premise of pre-K and 5th grade, it's easy to meet people because you're in the same class or whatever. So some people you get along with, some people you don't. But the ones that stick around, you're lucky to have them. And when you grow older, if you guys can still maintain that friendship, that's great. I'm happy for you, honestly. I haven't had that luxury. But then you go and skip into, because you can't really, like, I guess you can't really talk much about that area, or I can't, because I didn't really have that, like, long length of friendship from, like, second grade, and we've been still friends. So skip to that, and like I said, from pre-K to fifth grade. Now we're going and jumping from sixth grade to high school. These are like the golden years that parents say. I don't know why. Like, oh, remember these days because after that it's over. And I still don't know what they're saying. Those weren't my golden years. High school sucked. I'm sure people can agree with that. I don't like high school because I liked going to school and learning about blah 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 to a certain degree. History was whack because it was like fabricated, but we can get into that in another topic. But I liked going to school in a certain degree because I went to a vocational high school and my thing was culinary arts. I wanted to become a chef and stuff. So then eventually I did meet people where they like acquaintances and stuff like that. At the time, I labeled them as close friends or best friends and stuff for the wrong reasons. There'll be come in your life, and because you guys have things in common, or because y'all hang out more often than other people, you may label them as your close friend, or well, I label them as my close friends for the wrong reason, like because we had things in common and we went to the same classes, and that was about it. And then outside of high school, we hung out. But other than that, it was like that whole typical high school hanging out because, you want to experiment with things and you guys listen to music that you guys usually like. And out of the people I've met from high school, I had like a couple of people that I would consider a friend. But then now that I'm an adult, I consider them like I don't talk to them anymore. But at the time, I should have labeled them as associates. Even though we hung out, yeah, that's fine. You can hang out with coworkers, but not consider them friends because you don't see them that close. That's fine. But during that era of graduating from high school to like finding a job, going to school and stuff, I still didn't have really like close friends. I've had like at that time I thought were my close friends because we were together for so long. But then at the same time, it was like start learning that those quotes that my parents would say, right? Like, some people come for a season, some people come for a reason. And like others where it's like, oh, if when you need them and they're not there, that's when you know who your friends are. Or like, I've never had that feeling of if I didn't have any money, they just disappear. It's more like if you need somebody to vent to, or like somebody when you on a time of need, not like money situation, but just emotionally, and they're not there. Some people are just like they can't handle situations, but at the same time, like they can't handle emotional, like they can't be for you there emotionally. That's about it. But like I've personally had phone, like I've called somebody and they'll be like I said, what? Like as if I'm a burden to them, and it doesn't feel right. That's not a friend. I've had one time where they admitted they don't have anything in common with me, so they're gonna end our friendship. It was nothing personal, and I'm just like, how is that not personal? We are not like business partners, so I understand why you would say don't take it personal. I considered you a best friend, so that's why I was just like, what? So then there was like, I was at that time hoping for the best, like, oh, eventually we'll be friends again. But then we did eventually, not friends, but be more like associates or like try to start over. But then I was just like doing my own thing, and I realized like that happened for a reason because they're for thieving, okay? They weren't like there for me when I needed them, and it's not just like a friend has to be there when you need them. You can be there for them when they need you, but it's just like there's different levels of like, in my opinion, like there's no perfect formula to being a friend, but at the same time there's like things that I would personally do for someone. I understand that they're not going to do it for me, and no, everyone's going to treat you differently. Like there will be people that will be there to listen to you, that could just be there for you to like hang out with, or you can't hang out with like you can't really talk to this person because they're not emotionally there. I learned now as an adult, you don't have to just have that one friend, or that, like, sounds funny, but it's as if you can pick and choose why you like these people. But at the same time, it is better to have a well-rounded friend where you can talk to them, you guys have stuff in common, you can hang out with. But at the end of the day, some people are just not going to be there for you. So that's why it's so important to love yourself first. And also, it's very important to be your own best friend. And that goes with not just friendships, but also relationships and family, because even family won't necessarily be there for you. They love you, and at the same time, like, you go through life and life just happens. It's not your fault. And it's important to not like be your worst critic, because I feel like a lot of us are our own worst critic, where we're like, oh, I don't like myself. I would prefer to be with other people than just be by myself. Personally, me, I like my own company. I can do karaoke in my room. I'll have like I don't want to say Netflix and chill by myself, but yeah, pretty much. I'll hang out with myself, and even outside. I'll venture out in the city and stuff and find new things to do. That doesn't make me lonely. Hell, sometimes like hanging out with other people, they want to do other things. And that's perfectly fine, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna argue with myself about what I want to do. I'm gonna be fine with what I'm gonna do. And if you do argue with yourself about what you want to do, there's an issue, personally, in my opinion, because like RuPaul said it best: if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love someone else? Can I get an amen? But seriously, it's important to have self-love before you can love someone else. And not preaching, I just was going out of experience. And this is more like I want to say love letter, more love video to my future, like my past self. And if you feel some type of way, or like you are feeling like you're alone, you can't really talk to somebody, this video is for you, because like you're not alone. There are people that have things in common with you, whether it be music, movies, or anything like that. I know in high school, I had, like I said, a couple of friends, but they were actually associates or acquaintances more than friends. And I was like picked as the weird girl because I have a mental illness. And my thing is, like, since I'm an adult, it's not the end of the world. I've been proving every day that there's no stigma. I do everything, like, I do different things like everybody else does. And unfortunately, with media, nowadays, people have like this bad stigma about mental health, because on media you see like a lot of shootings going on and like school shootings, and it's just a bad place for someone who is identified with mental illness. But I'm here to say, like, not everybody is like that. And also, 13 Reasons Why, it's pros and cons. I never watched the show. I was kind of interested in watching it, but then it's not just like the feedback I get from like other people's opinions. It's more like it's nice that they have at the end of each episode, like if you want to talk to someone, they have the suicide hotline or someone to talk to and stuff. But at the same time, I've heard things about the show and how it is. Like I don't watch it, so I just go on other people's opinions. That's not the reason why I don't watch it. It's more like it's not my cup of tea, and I feel like since I'm an adult, their audience is more high school from the premise of what it is. So like, if I was in high school, I would watch it, but since I'm an adult, I can't relate to it. Um, I guess that's about it. But there's this show, and it's called Atypical on Netflix. I like it, um, and I can see outside of the spectrum, and maybe some people don't like it, but like I said, I personally do like it. Um, where you know, in I like that in TV and even in music, they're talking more about these things that are going on with everyday people. It's not just so black and white anymore. And you don't have to just look at media or even social media about things that everybody goes through. So, in that way, you don't feel alone. But back in the topic of friendship and stuff, I feel like it's a facade. I feel like it's not it's like a mixed bag for me, because even as an adult, I'm not having like the perfect friendship or anything. I've lost friends in the past over this year. And it's not the end of the world for me. At one period of time, I was questioning myself. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But then I realized, yo, I'm awesome. And if they don't catch that, if they don't understand that and they don't see it, that's their problem. And I just like, life goes on. And if anyone is younger watching this, you'll learn to realize that things happen in your life with like losing a friend and stuff. And yeah, it may feel like the end of the world at that time, but really, is it? Did you really, like, you have to think about, did you really lose a friend if they easily will walk out of your life after one incident? If you can't talk to them and they start blaming you for things, that wasn't a friend in the first place. Or, they don't really pick up the phone if you're answering, like they ghost you. I know there's a show on MTV called Ghosted. I don't really watch the show as much as I did watch Catfish, but at the same time, it's not just a relationship thing that people will ghost you, and that's even proof in the pudding that there's people you can be longtime friends and they will just stop talking to you. And my thing is like, it's happened to me. I don't question myself about it anymore, because it's like I said before, if they don't realize that I'm an awesome person and they don't want to go in this like journey in life with me, that's their fault. And that's fine. And I learned that even though I give out, like I'm a caring person, all that stuff, not everybody's going to do the same and give it to me. They'll receive it, but they won't like give it back to me. And that's fine. So that's why it's like, being an adult, you have to learn different things by yourself. And it's okay to not be friends with everybody. Like, my significant other, he has a lot more friends than me. And I even became friends with his friends. And at first I was like, oh man, I'm friends with I'm more closer to his friends than my own. Because I've lost a lot of friends during the years of like getting older and stuff. I just realized like I don't want to waste time with people. And if you are my friend and you quickly like stop doing, let's say like texting me, it takes you an hour to respond, maybe 2 days and stuff like that, I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm not gonna even ask anymore because that's already your sign of like you're not interested in being friends anymore, and that's completely fine. Because I would prefer a small circle than a huge like network of people that are just like there. They're just a picture on a screen, or like they're just like I would prefer somebody that I can talk to and feel relaxed with, not uncomfortable. I'm walking on eggshells or feel like they weren't there for me. And it could be for little things, not even just needing them for something. Just have a conversation and see how you're doing. If you can't do that, then what's the point of being like considering them a friend? And I think it's like not the end of the world because like there's plenty of things that you go on with life and you deal with in life, and one of those things you shouldn't question on yourself or figure it out because you're probably not even going to get that answer. That's the same thing with relationships. In my personal opinion, like I know I'm not comfortable with getting back together with an ex or being friends with him because I feel like it would be like fraud because you're not actually trying to pursue a friendship and try to be cordial if you're still doing the same actions. I think I talked about this in a previous video, but if you're doing the relationship type thing and you're trying to be friends, that's not cool to neither one of the people because it makes it seem like you're potentially going to get back together. No, if you're going to be friends, be friends. Don't still have those privileges as a relationship, but you're trying to be friends because that confuses if you're trying to actually make something platonic happen when it will be like living on lines in a way because it's like I don't want to make it seem as if there will be any type of more than just friends. And that's why I chose, like, if I break up with somebody that's my significant other, yeah, cutting loose. I'm cutting off. You know, if I try to make it work and stuff like that, it's not like I just break up with a person, I just can't deal. There's like, we can communicate and work things out. But if we're both at a point where it's not working out, bye. And that probably might sound cold. But at the end of the day, I don't want to make it seem as if I want to get back with you. I know what I'm dealing with when I'm with you, and I don't want to make it seem like there's high hope or expectations to getting back together, because I knew what this was once it happened. So I'll digress about that. But like the main thing about like having friends as an adult is like, I don't know, like unfortunately I'm still learning and I don't have no golden plan. I'll meet new people, but I'm more like taking my time getting to know people, and I definitely am taking more of a like learning experience and then taking more time to before I even jump to like friendship or labeling it to something. I want to see like, do we communicate more often, whether text, phone calls, meeting up with each other? Do we have anything in common? Whether it's like music, movies, or anything like that. Do they only call me because they need something, whether it be talking about like work or like needing advice and stuff, or do they like want to hang out with me? There's all these like different things that would show me that like, oh, they actually do want to be quote unquote friends. So that's like about it about like the whole friend thing. I don't, it's funny, this is going, and you can tell me what your opinion about it is. Like there's some people that still can do the label of best friends or like close friends or like this. It's like I don't know, it's weird for me because like this may sound funny, or I'm not trying to shade no one. I don't believe there's a best friend, and wouldn't that be the number one person? I don't know, this is my opinion. And if you have more than one, that's great, but at the same time, what do you think would be considered someone a close friend or best friend? Because they're really the same thing. But what do you think somebody would earn that title? Because, like, not everyone deserves to be in your circle, especially if you've been hurt from uh, friends in the past. So it does, like, um, put like a roadblock in like meeting people. I know some people that put up a wall before they even meet someone because of the fact they have trust issues. And the thing is, the great thing about it is, like, you don't have to make things seem as if, like, if you have to put up a wall and you have trust issues, it's easier said than done to say, I'm going to trust you, because there's people who have personally broken my trust and I've left them alone. But before, when I was younger, it would take a long time for me to like realize I don't need these people in my life. They're they're really negative, or they're doing things that I wouldn't usually do, just to show that I'm their friend. And I'm not saying you shouldn't put effort in friendship. Every relationship needs work and needs to show like you care about that person. And if you are doing that for that person, showing it, doing all the effort, but then they still don't do the same thing for you, then you start questioning it. But you shouldn't question yourself. You should question the pros and cons. Do you really want to keep them as a friend, or do you really want them to be your friend? So, like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like some people come in your life, some people will leave your life quicker, but the ones that easily will leave you are the ones that weren't really meant to be or didn't deserve you as a person. Because there's plenty of people that will take advantage of your kindness, or people that are caring and stuff like that, because they probably don't have somebody in their life that's like that, so they don't know how to handle it or whatever. So I don't know, I just thought about it and I realized I'm really content with being by myself. But at the end, if you wanted to like walk this path in the journey of life with me and we have cool adventures and stuff, that's great. But it does take me time now than before when I was younger to, get to fill that person out, see if they're actually here for me, and want to get to know me and stuff, than just jumping into titles and stuff. Well, anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, because it already is. Oh, thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is Mita. Wow, I said it weird. This is, I'm still getting used to my title, but this is Mirror and Media signing out. Bye.